Algebra 1, Day 10. So today we're going to continue our study of the domain and range of both continuous and discrete functions. However, we're going to do something a little different. What we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at problems that look exactly like the star test, okay? So we want to make sure that we're prepared for them. On the pages that look like this, I'm going to be doing the odd side. And this side over here is going to be for you, okay? So everyone on the odd side is nearly identical to the one on the even side. So they're very similar problems. They just have different numbers and may have different graphs, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to work my way through here. All right, so number one, first they're asking me for the domain, okay? So I'm going to look at my answer choices. I see that has a y in it, so that's obviously not the answer. So I know that my domain is my x-axis. So let's go ahead and take a look at this graph. I see that it's continuous, so I know it's going to look something like that. And what I need to do is I need to find how far does it go to the left, how far does it go to the right. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to draw a pencil. I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to go ahead and start way over here. I'm going to go towards the graph until I barely touch it. And I see that it landed there on -4. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in, noticing that my dot is not filled in. So I do not put the extra line. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my pencil. I'm going to go way out here. I'm going to start heading back towards the graph until I can find the point that's the furthest to the right. And it's right there on 2. So that means that I should write a 2 here. And I look to see it is filled in, so that's an extra line. Now let's go ahead and compare. So I see they got the right numbers here, but incorrect symbols. That's not it. This one's right. My answer choice is C. Next one. Number 3, they want to know the range. That is my y values. So I look at my answer choices, and I see they wrote it kind of weird, right? And remember what I said, it usually looks something like this. But they didn't do that. Instead, they wrote just 1. So we're gonna figure out why they did that. So let's go ahead and deal with this range. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and draw myself a pencil, grab said pencil. I'm gonna go from the very bottom up, 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 up. And it looks like it's at approximately -6. However, there is an arrow. So that arrow means negative infinity. So I'm going to write that out here. And I know it's negative infinity because out in this direction, my y's are going to get more negative. Okay, so I got that first part. Let me go ahead and grab this pencil again. I'm going to start way up here. I'm going to go down, 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 down. And that's the first point that I touch. That is at 8. And it is not filled in, so no extra line. Okay, so I mentioned previously that sometimes whenever people have an infinity in their domain and range, they choose not to write it. This just saves us a little bit of time. So what you have to do is you have to look at what you wrote, excluding the part with the infinity. So I'm looking for this, okay? So I'm looking and it looks like the correct answer is D. Now, just as a side note, let's imagine instead we had had this. Now, for this particular problem, I'd be focusing here, but they're not going to write it like that. Remember, I have to look at it, if this is my I, from this direction and this side. So I would say y, and it's opening towards my y, 3, okay? So just make sure that you always remember that whenever dealing with this. Okay, next one. Number 5. The graph of a linear function is shown below. What is the domain? So domain is my x values. So let's go ahead and look at these. I'm going to grab my pen, and for every point, I'm just going to match it up to where it touches my x-axis. And that's -1, +1, +2, +4. Let's see if anything matches that. So it's B. Now, here's the thing. Some people might have been tempted to pick this, but guess what? This graph is not interconnected. We didn't see this, right? They're all separate. So I cannot select continuous types of domain and range. I can only choose from a discrete ones. But this is certainly not it. All right, let's go ahead and look at this one. A worker is renting a truck. The graph shows the cost in dollars for renting the truck after X hours. Okay, what is the range? So range is going to be my y's again. All right, let's go ahead and draw up a pencil. And I see here that this guy is a continuous function, so it's probably going to look something like that. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab my pencil. I'm going to say I'm going to come way down and go up, 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 up. And it touches at 40. So I'm going to write that in my first slot, noticing that dot is filled in. So I'm going to go ahead and put my extra line. And now I'm going to grab my pencil again. I'm going to take it way up here. And I'm going to go down, 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 down. And it looks like it hits at approximately 220. But I notice an arrow. Arrow indicates some type of infinity. I'm going to pretend like in my mind I see this arrow heading off, and it looks like the y's are getting bigger in that direction. So that's a positive infinity. Now here, they wrote it out in words. So remember, infinity of any sort is all real numbers, sometimes written as this, okay? So let's see, all real numbers greater than or equal to 0. No, we started at 40, so no. All real numbers greater than or equal to 40. So if I look at this from this way, y opening towards y, 40. So all numbers, y, greater than or equal to 40. Okay, that matches. And these guys are certainly ridiculous. So my correct answer is B. All right. So for now, I want you guys just to know that any linear function, y equals mx plus b, is all real numbers for domain. Okay, so I would say A. For this one, for all linear equations that look like this, y equals mx plus b, my range is all real numbers. Okay, number 13. So they're asking me what is the domain and my range. Okay, so something interesting, I see that the range is only at -2. So I'm going to look through these guys. Okay, there it is. Okay, and no. All right, so we can eliminate these guys. Okay, let's look at the domain. 5, -6, 3, 4. So it should start with the -6. Okay, so it looks like that one. It cannot be this guy because it's not a continuous function. This is a set of points. The answer choice is B. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and skip over this one. We haven't learned that yet, so you guys should not do number 16. All right, so we're going to skip all these. And let's go ahead and take a look at these. So I'm going to allow you to do these. These are questions from old STAR tests, but I'm just going to talk about them and give you a couple of helpful tips whenever it comes to them. So here on this one, this is a map, obviously, and they're asking for my domain. So they just want my x's. Here they're asking me what's my range, remembering that my range is my y. Again, they're looking for range. Okay, we're going to skip that one. And so here they're asking for domain. So you guys know how to do that. Now, here's an interesting one, number 12. They're asking for the range of h. So I know that we haven't learned this yet, but you can totally understand this just by using your head a little bit. So take a look at this number. These are my y's, my range. Okay, this is a quadratic function. So if it says linear, quadratic, whatever kind of function, then it is going to be continuous, okay? So I look at this, 41 would be like up here somewhere on the graph. Then it'd go down, 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 back up, right? So it looks like the very bottom of the graph is going to be right here. I don't see any numbers that are smaller than -8. So it would be safe to assume that all real numbers greater than or equal to -8, h. Okay, you guys know how to do that one. So this one, you have to match up the graph with what makes sense for this particular domain. So read it carefully and make sure the graph matches. All right, that is it for today. I'll let you guys work on that assignment, and bye for